sweet sounds of Dale Galston there, setting the perfect tone for this particular interview with Mr. Daryl Joseph, the Public Relations Officer of Massey Trinidad All-Stars. And we will be talking a little bit about All-Stars celebrating 70 with classical jewels. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Nice to be here this morning.
It's a pleasure having you on, especially we're going to be chatting about this very exciting event.
Yeah. Really, very pumped and excited about it. This is the 11th edition of Classical Jewels, a series that we started back in 1974. Before some of us were born. This year, what we're doing is we're paying special tribute to two stalwarts of the organization. Those two being Mr. Neville Jules, who we fondly refer to as Cap, who was one of the founding members and one of the leaders that helped us shape the organization and gave us our character who we are today. And also Fitzgerald, or we know him as Uncle Jem Jamot, who was a past musical director of the organization and who was the one who actually started the series, Classical Jewels, in 1974.
All right, so just to provide us with some information on the actual event itself, what is on the agenda? What can we expect?
Okay, so during the year at competitions or when you're performing with other bands, you have to sort of limit what you can show. This is our premiere showcase for the year. So this is a full-length 2-hour concert where we're going to be displaying the full range of our repertoire, our skill, what we do, how we do it, and so forth. So you're going to see a mixed set of performances. Some will be all-stars alone. At other times, we'll be accompanied by special guests. And we're also showcasing some of the in-house talent. We have a number of individual people who have gone on and studied and sort of crafted their own sort of path, and we're going to be highlighting them as well. I don't want to say too much about that because there's some surprises inside of there, and anybody who knows All Stars knows that surprises is one of the things that we kind of rub our hands and anticipate how people are going to react when they see certain things. So lots of surprises.
So we have something that's showing on set there. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Right. So that is a clip from, I believe it was 2010. That would have been Classical Jewels 9 back in 2010. I can't remember. That would be Finlandia, June Nathaniel. June Nathaniel is also one of the guest conductors for our concert this weekend. And she'll be doing a couple of pieces. So you can look forward to her, as well as our director, Mr. Derek Nurse. He's in charge of the entire production. He's the principal conductor. We also have Jessel Murray, who some people would know from the National Steel Orchestra and, music on the whole. Jessel Murray will also be there. Mia Gormandy, who is one of the talents that has grown up in All Stars and gone on and is crafting a wonderful name for herself. She'll also be guest conducting. And we have Mr. Sule Sampson, who I don't think has ever gotten this audience before, but he's one of our in-house people as well, who's also doing fantastic things. He'll be one of our guest conductors also.
And you have a junior orchestra music director?
Yeah, we do have, but we have a junior orchestra, first of all, right? And we have Mr. Kygel Benjamin, who is also another in-house person who is doing wonderful things. The junior orchestra will be doing a couple of pieces as well.
Tell us about the junior orchestra.
Well, we started the junior orchestra not too long ago, about 2 years ago. They're really coming along very nicely. The idea is to nurture youths within the community and anybody else who wants to come in and sort of groom them in proper pan playing techniques and musicianship, and eventually some of them will filter into the senior organization. We don't expect everybody to, but it's also a good sort of a grooming ground for that kind of thing.
Definitely.
Yeah, because the senior band, the types of rehearsals, the kind of hours that we put in, it's difficult for little children to be involved.
Understood.
Right? So we have an avenue for them to be there.
So this concert will be held at Napa?
National Academy for the Performing Arts.
November 18th at 6 p.m.
Actually, the 18th will be at 8, which is Saturday.
And
and the 19th on Sunday will be at 6 p.m. So people can get to work.
Two events.
Yeah.
So what's the difference with
no, it's the same show, but we're just holding it over 2 nights.
So tell us a little bit about the proceeds. So where would this be directed
to? We have decided, because we always try to give something back. We don't talk about it very much, but we do. So we're kind of talking about it this time.
Yes.
We've decided to donate part of our proceeds to Goodwill Industries. Right? They've been doing fantastic work with some of our young people who have challenges.
Yes.
And there are one or two of those persons who actually are part of our organization. And there's one in particular, I wouldn't call his name, but there's one in particular who will be on show on Saturday coming.
That's
so
really...
people who know the band, know who our people are, know who I'm talking about, but I will leave it for the public to come and see for themselves.
All right, so I understand that is also geared towards reducing the crime rate among young people in the East Port of Spain community. Tell us a little bit about that, also literacy and that kind of thing.
Right, okay. So there are many people, and you know, maybe it's something that we need to showcase one day, but there are many people who will tell you that All Stars literally has saved their life. Because of where the band is situated, young people have choices to make. And some choices are more productive and better than others. And what we found over the decades is that the young persons who have come into the band and who have stayed with the band have found discipline, they've found purpose, they've found belonging, they found a place where they're always welcome, and they have a meaningful role.
Yes.
And, you know, those things you can't really put a price on. Giving somebody who might be lost and dispossessed a place where they matter, a place where they mean something, a place where they have a purpose. That's what being in an organization like All Stars does. And we've done that for several people from the area and from outside the area as well. And it's something that we continue to do.
What about the literacy program? We
began formally doing a literacy program for our members. And these are the stateside members, the ones who practice all during the year. We started last year. It's an ongoing program that we run periodically, teaching members how to read, you know, how to become musically literate and so forth. Because we see that as one of the areas of growth that we have to focus on for the future of the organization.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what went into this in terms of preparation.
Wow. Okay. Well, you might not see it, but I'm very sleepy. And I'm not even playing.
That makes two of us.
Right? I am just there all the time. The amount of hours, listen, if Trinidad and Tobago could be half as productive as a steel band like All Stars is in preparing for a show like this, first world, we wouldn't have to wait till 2030. We will get there long before 2030. These guys have been practicing for 7 days a week for maybe a couple of months now. And prior to that, it would have been maybe 4 or 5 days a week. So basically, since I would say July, the band has been heavily focused on this concert and preparing, because remember, there's 2 hours of music.
Yes.
All right? So since about July, they've been heavily focused. And for the last 5 or 6 weeks, it's been 7 days a week, public holidays included. So when everybody else is at home relaxing or enjoying Sunday lunch, the 40 or 50 members of Trinidad All Stars are in the panyard practicing hard.
Now, this I quote you here in a particular article. You said, in a year which began with a historic 10th National Panorama victory for us, we consider Classical Jewels 11 to be the pinnacle of 2017.
Yes,
Tell us about that statement.
It is. People who would have witnessed and been around for our Panorama performance this year, I think they'd remember it, right? We did, we picked Full Extreme, the road march for this year.
Yes.
And we put on a performance that I think was quite memorable, all right? We won. We didn't go into the final in first place. We were behind, but we won on final night, everybody. And, you know, we've gotten, a lot of people are very happy. I'm trying to kind of play it cool. A lot of people have been very happy with that performance. So I think what we're trying to say here is that, look, okay, so we did that, but that's not the showcase for the year. Come to this concert and you will see everything that we've been working on, everything that we do. You'll see the whole thing, the full product. You will really get the Full Extreme this Saturday and Sunday.
All right, so the tickets are priced at $300?
$300,
Where
yes.
are they available?
Right. Several Massy stores. I could call out a few of them. Glencoe, West Mall, Alice Glen, French Street, Maraval, St. Anne's, St. Augustine, Trin City, Chaguanas, and Gulf View. They're available at Massy stores. They're also available at the Napa box office, or you can get them at our panyard. And the phone contact for our panyard is 627-2127.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the response that you've gotten over the years. In terms of support, has it been there? Is it something that you're trying to still work on?
Absolutely, no. Well, All Stars, fortunately, is one of the better supported bands. So from the, as soon as we announce that we're doing something, there's like a core base that you could kind of more or less depend on to be there. The challenge that we have is in extending beyond the core base or extending beyond the core support. So we have been trying to market this concert as not a steel band concert per se.
Yeah.
It's a music concert where steel band is the primary instrument. And when you come, you will see that because there are other instruments that we've incorporated as well. There's a violinist, there's vocalists, there's other things as well. All right? Try not to.
What's the dress code? Just to get an idea of the mood.
Well, I mean, patrons can come, just elegantly casual.
Elegantly casual.
Right? We will not be elegantly casual. We'll be elegant.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges over the years as well.
Well, one of the things about Trinidad and Tobago is that we don't take ourselves very seriously, and sometimes that works well because sometimes very serious things happen, and we're able to get over it and deal with it because we kind of take things lightly. The unfortunate flip side of that is that we have no idea what we have in the steel pan. We have no idea what we have in the steel band itself. So we often have to sell to ourselves what other people outside of Trinidad will run and grab.
I understand.
Right? We go away on a tour and people mob us the way you see they do for rock stars and for pop stars and that sort of thing. I have been away with the band and I had to sign autographs and I did not play a note. They just saw me in the t-shirt and like, yo, come, and you have to sign things as well. We don't get a fraction of that here.
Why?
We just don't take anything that we produce seriously here. If something has an accent on it and it looks foreign, then we take it seriously. But in the land of its birth, it's still noise or an old drum or something like that.
It's not appreciated.
No, it's not appreciated, right? And it's really funny because sometimes we go away and when we see the same thing that we saw home, we look at it differently. So, it's just one of those things about us as a people that needs to be adjusted and addressed.
But with time and also with the introduction of this as a particular, as a subject area in terms of history, learning the history of the pan and the challenges in the early days, do you think that would help? Or is it helping?
Education always helps. That's my opinion. Okay, education always helps. So the more you know about something and the more you understand the history of it, is the more you will appreciate it. Right now, I know in our universities, in our tertiary level institutions, there are PAN programs or there are music programs that include PAN. But I personally would still like to see more of it happen at a primary and secondary level. Right? I think there are so many stories. If there's one thing you will get in a PAN yard, is stories. As soon as you walk in, stories happening right there as you walk in, all right? So when an organization like ours, which is over 70, over 80 years old, has this rich body of tradition and history, there are many inspirational and motivational stories within that history that I think need to come out and need to be told. So, we often look to foreign influences to find our center and we have all of that right here, but it's just kept so casually locked away that we don't know what we have.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the core support that you have. Every year, is it the same people coming out, or do you see you've been able to tap into new areas? Like the younger ones, the older ones?
Okay.
Who is it attracting?
All right, so steel band is a very funny thing because the young people play it, but older people listen to it. Right? So we always have this challenge with trying to... We do have, as I said before, a core base of support, but it is really I would say the over 30 crowd, all right? The 30-something to whatever-something crowd. It's, for some reason, young people, they gravitate towards playing, but to get them to sit down and listen and appreciate is challenging. What we do, and I'll see my other bands do the same thing as well, we try to vary our repertoire so that we include some more modern pieces within what we play. And sometimes that kind of gets to some people. But, it's still a challenge. It's an ongoing challenge. And it's something that we have to continue working at and continue trying to look for more dynamic ways to include persons outside of the base support.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the role. We touched on it a little bit earlier with crime and the impact that this particular organization is having. So you're not just about entertainment.
No, not at all.
It's so much deeper.
Yeah.
So what are some of the programs that you will have in place? Is it that you offer classes to those out there, you know, because you mentioned the youth dimension of the junior orchestra.
Yes.
So would you say that you've been able to target some of the at-risk areas where youngsters probably, they don't really have something to go to, somewhere to channel their energy?
Yes. Well, how it functions with us. Now, we don't have that many formal programs set up per se, but we have something that might be even better. We have a place people could call home. All right? The Panyard is always open, and it's always welcoming, and people are always welcome. So on any night when the band is rehearsing, for example, children of players and children of people around, you see them in the Panyard running about and playing and, you know, just doing stuff that children do. On weekends also, we have a lady who sells food. So people come in and they buy lunch and they sit down and eat. And we have a bar that's always open. So it's much more than just, as you were saying, it's much more than just a steel band. It's a whole village almost within itself, right? And I think the dominant characteristic of that village is that people come in and feel at home.
Yes.
So regardless of what difficulties they may be experiencing outside, regardless of whatever challenges, when they come in there, you're home, you're safe. And something in particular I must mention as well, despite the fact that we are in the middle of what's supposed to be the most crime-prone area in the country, nothing evil has ever happened inside of that Panyard.
Why is that?
I think people just respect the area. They just respect the spot. They respect what goes on there. They respect the people who are there because we respect our neighbors as well. Okay? So good things happen there.
I want to talk about the orchestra's academic and social programs. Provide us with some more information on those.
Okay. Well, it's ongoing. As I was saying before, the academic portion of it really, as it stands right now, pertains to music.
Yes.
And that pertains to people who join what we call the stage side. Now, the stage side practices throughout the entire year. These are the people who would be performing in this concert on the weekend and other shows that we have. Carnival time, Panorama, you get everybody else. So we have a much bigger performance team. It's more like 120, 130 people. But if you join the stage side, you have access to the music program that we have, the music literacy program. And we ran a camp during the July-August period here, right? Where again, we were teaching pan and some other things. And it's continuing to evolve as we go forward.
I want to talk about your vision. Long-term goals and short-term goals for this particular organization for All Stars.
Long-term, we want to be independent, financially viable, sustainable. And we want to be the premier steel orchestra known across the planet.
What is needed to get you there?
A lot of hard work. First things first. Forming a lot of strategic linkages and alliances. Thinking globally, not just restricted to Trinidad and Tobago. We have toured extensively over the years, but the touring has always been somewhat sporadic as things come up.
All right, so I'd like to get your closing comments.
Sure.
And we highlighted you highlighted the fact that people are not very appreciative of what we have. They tend to go abroad and appreciate and support other things. What is your advice to people looking on? Okay,
so we have an opportunity this Saturday and Sunday to debunk all of that and to get over that bogey. We have a 2-hour music concert, a fantastic repertoire of really high-end, high-class music. The pan will be the primary instrument being used in this, a full-size 40-member, 50-member orchestra, along with guests. Don't put your time, your attention, your money anywhere else this weekend, right? Come check us out. We're also rehearsing, today is Tuesday. We're rehearsing in the Panyard today. We'll be at Napa from tomorrow. But you can come down to the Panyard tonight and listen to the band rehearse, right? We begin usually about by 8 o'clock.
Yes.
And, well, I left last night after midnight and the band was still rehearsing.
Wow.
Right? So there's a lot of time to come and see what we're doing. But come, please do. Please come and support.
Well, just to remind you, tickets are priced $300. They're available at Kimasi Food Stores, Napa Box Office. The event is November 17th.
18th and 19th.
Okay, 18th and 19th. All right, from 6 p.m. Well, one is at 8 p.m.
One is at 8, Saturday the 18th is at 8.
Great.
Sunday at 6.
Come out and support and be part of this wonderful experience. They promise that it's going to be full extreme in all aspects of it. All right, well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. It was definitely a pleasure having you on board. News is up next. I'm Verna Barrett. Have a great week.
When you turn on your television,